cream, cheese, and lettuce. So yeah, that is what I get in my bowl, and then I always ask for a lime. This looks so good. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm so hungry. My stomach's like growling. Comment your Chipotle order down below. Because, yeah, I get the same thing every time. And but for today's video, we're going to be touching on mental health, and I think mental health is a topic that's not talked about enough. In recent years, it's talked about a lot more, but I still feel like there's not enough awareness. So yeah. So I personally struggle with, anxiety and stuff myself, and it definitely affects me, like, in a lot of ways. So I guess I'm just gonna kind of be telling you guys about my anxiety, and then telling you guys what I do to cope with it and deal with it, and what I find helps me, which doesn't mean it will help you, but it might help you, or just give you some ideas of things that you can try. So I would say for me, some things that my anxiety like gets really bad is like with driving. I seriously, you guys can convince myself anything, and when I was younger, I remember, like, I'm not diagnosed with any depression, or, I'm not on any medication, which I would hope to keep throughout my entire life. My goal is to never be on any medication like that unless it's really necessary, which is not bad to be on medication. And I have so many friends who are, where it's just necessary, but for me, I have been able to find ways to cope around it. But my anxiety, I would say, is like where I just can convince myself everything, and I've done a lot of Googling, which they always say don't self-diagnose yourself, which I don't necessarily do, but I guess I would say I probably have some type of like OCD, where I can just like convince myself anything. Like, I'll think that, like, my husband doesn't love me anymore, like I don't love him, or like just like dumb stuff like that. And like I'll convince myself that like I can't drive to this place because I'm gonna get a car accident on my way there, which I do this all the time. I like will have plans to go somewhere, and then I just won't go because something's telling me I'm gonna get in a car accident, and then I like convince myself this is like a sign from God or something, and it's not, because God's not giving me these signs all the time that I'm going to get in a car accident. If that makes sense. I don't know if anyone else can relate to that, but I do that all the time. And then, with my husband, it's, caused a lot, not of arguments, I guess conversation, where, I can, talk myself into anything, and, right after we got married, I started feeling really nervous, and I was like, am I doing the right thing? Like, blah, 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 and it got really, really bad, where I was just like, I think a lot of it was my situation too. We were in not a good environment. We were stuck in a hotel room together the entire summer. We were stuck in a hotel room together the entire military summer, and we had no car, no air conditioning. For some of the summer, didn't have a military ID, so I couldn't walk around base by myself. And it made it really hard because it was like I had to be with him 24/7. So anyone you spend that much time with, you're gonna get sick of. And I started convincing myself that like all the stuff that I know now is not true. Which, you know, it took a lot of talking and, you know, I talked to my grandma a lot, but, you know, just a lot of talking and figuring out and, you know, learning, like, this is a big life experience, and basically, like, you know, I thought a lot about, you know, what if I didn't go through with it, how I would feel, and I just know I would have felt so much worse. But yeah, it's completely normal to sometimes worry and sometimes think, like, you know, of all the unknown, like, and that's with any relationship, is you don't know the future. Doesn't matter when you started or when you got together or, you know, how old you are, like, you still don't know the future and you never will know the future. So, you know, if you're happy in this moment and you think, oops, sorry, I don't want to, I accidentally, like, talked or whatever in my normal voice. What I was saying is, if you feel happy now and in the future, you know, things change, you know, nothing's permanent, you can get out of things, like, not saying that's going to happen to us, I pray to God that never happens, but it's something you have to tell yourself, that even with big things that seem permanent, they're not permanent. And if you haven't eaten today, you need to eat. Please, please, please. I feel for you. I literally will eat one meal a day every single day. It's a horrible habit. Ever since this corona stuff, like, I used to be so, you know, I used to go to the gym all the time. I was in the best shape of my life, and now I have, like, put on weight since corona. I'm by no means, like, out of shape or anything, but just something I struggle with too, if that makes sense. Like, I know I'm not, like, completely out of shape and stuff, but I just was in so much better shape, and I used to care so much more about, like, my health and stuff, and it's hard, like, trying to get back into it now, and it's hard with corona still going on, and so I totally understand. Everyone's going through something, and that's, like, the really crazy part about life is, you know, it's like seriously, everyone is going through something. No matter what you think, everyone's going through something. And most people will choose to not talk about it, which is totally fine. But that's why it's so important, though, to just, like, be kind to people, because you don't know what's going on. It sounds so cliche, but, like, it's so true. Like, you have no idea, and you would hate to be the reason that, you know, someone took things further than they should be taken, if you catch my drift. But I just want you guys to know that I'm always here for you guys, and it's really important too, like, when you do get into, like, a relationship, that you're able to talk to this person about your mental health and your feelings, because if you can't, they're just going to bottle up and it is going to come out on them. And so, you know, I just think that's so important, to make sure that you have somebody who you can talk to, whether it be a parent, a therapist, a boyfriend, it sounds so cliche, but journaling did so much for me. Like, every night, you know, Ethan would just step away, go sit in the bathroom so that I could have like some time for myself, just because of our situation. We had to be in the same room all the time, so sometimes he would do that so that I could have my own time. And journaling for me really helped because I was able to reflect on the day. And when I was journaling, instead of journaling about all the things that went wrong and like all the things in my head that were bothered me that day, or all my anxieties that I had that day, I went through and I wrote down one thing that Ethan did that made me feel happy, one thing I did that made myself feel happy, all of the good things of the day, all of the great things that happened, so that I could sit then when I'm done and I go through and read and I'm thinking, oh, I had a terrible day, I'm reading all of the good things that happened today, and it makes the day seem so much better. Like, because when you're having a bad day, all you're thinking about is all the things that went wrong, and not, you know, oh, I got Chick-fil-A today, that was awesome, you know, someone did this for me today, that was awesome, I got to do this today, that was awesome, even though blah 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 blah, I still had a good day, you know. And obviously not every day's a good day, but it's so important to try, instead of keeping that mindset of all the things that went wrong and thinking about all the things that went right, because I know we all do it. Like, it's so easy to just think about all the things that went horribly, and then, you know, it just seems like never ending. But another thing that I noticed is, I know, like, everyone hates going to work, right? But once I quit my job, my mental health went so far down because I didn't have something to keep me in a schedule. Like, it's really important to have something, whether it's I get up every morning and walk my dog at 8, or, you know, like having a school schedule or having a work schedule. Like, you hate it when it's happening, but after you don't have it, you realize, like, for me, even right now, there is nothing that wakes me up, you know, by 10 a.m. every morning. You know, I will sleep until whenever I want, and it's just such an unhealthy cycle, because, you know, I kind of just feel like I have nothing to do. So, okay, my husband just called me. I don't know, like, what I was talking about, but hopefully I finished my thought. But yeah, I think, like, it's just so important to have, I think I was talking about, like, schedules. I just think it's important to keep yourself on a schedule of some sort. It doesn't need to be, like, very timely, but something, because it just kind of gives you, like, a reason to get up every day. But and it's important to acknowledge when you need help. Like, if you're really going through it and you feel like you've hit your breaking point and you know that you need help, it's so important that you tell somebody or do something about it before, you know, you fall into this hole where you can't get out. And even when you do fall into that hole where you think you can't get out, you can still get out. You still can get out. No matter what, you can still get out. But for me, even, I struggled so much. Like, this sounds gross, but, like, keeping up with, like, personal hygiene, like taking a shower, like, every few days, for me, it just seemed like the biggest chore ever. Like, it was so hard for me to, like, make myself do simple things like that. And what helped me was watching people's, like, shower routines. And what I did was I watched some shower routines. I saw, like, you know, a girls were using all these body scrubs and like nice smelling shaving cream and like, you know, matching like body gels, lotions, blah blah blah. And for me, before, I never did any of that stuff. I didn't have nice soaps and I didn't care and whatever, which is totally fine. But for me, it helped when I watched those videos and I went out and spent $25 and got myself, you know, just like a little shower routine so that I felt like I was getting something out of it, you know. And that has helped me tremendously. I'm telling you, like, even with shaving cream, I was always like, oh, why spend the money on it? But having a good smelling shaving cream that I really like makes me shave, you know, like things like that. And it doesn't need to be expensive. I think I found one for like $1.80 or something, like really cheap. But for me, that was just like really helpful. And you guys feel free to comment down below, like, your anxieties, whether, you know, they're the same or not, or like what you're going through. Like, I mean, talk to somebody about it. Like, I read all your guys' comments, whether I respond or not. I read them all and I acknowledge them all. And I think even if I don't, it's so good to just put your words out there and put yourself out there. And it's uncomfortable and it's scary, but it's so good. So even this video for me is like, I was like, should I do this? I don't know, but I don't know. Another thing that I learned was, you know, people are like, oh, don't spend all your money on Starbucks and whatever, you know, whatever it is, like doing your nails, doing your hair, doing your lashes. My mom used to always, oh, why are you spending all your money on this, blah, blah, blah. And the thing is to some people, it might seem like a huge waste of money, but for me personally, when I have my nails done, when I have my hair done, when I have my lashes done, I feel so much better about myself. I feel like I am so much more motivated. And if that's what it takes for you to feel that way, obviously don't bring yourself into debt doing it. You know, find alternatives. And I understand, like, not everyone has the money to go do that all the time. But even for me, it's like with my nails, like, I prioritize something else, you know. I won't buy shoveling food in my mouth. I don't know why. But I probably won't finish my food on camera just because there's a lot in here, but I guess I just wanted to make a little video talking about mental health, and I don't really know if I like really talked about that much, but you know, the truth is it's just like any situation you're in, you're going to overcome it, and it's really hard to look long term. I mean, I have a friend who struggles, and you know, I'm not here to tell her story or whatever, but it's like I noticed that, you know, some people who fall into a depression can't see past the depression that they're in, and they think, you know, it's never gonna go away, and you know, I don't want to live my life this way, like, but it just doesn't go away. So it seems like there's no other option, and there's always another option, and I promise you 10 years from now you're going to be out of it. And another big thing is, it's so important that you acknowledge that you need help if you need help, because you can't help somebody who doesn't want to help. And that's one thing I've learned too. No matter how hard you try, you cannot help somebody who doesn't want to get help. They will just lie. They will, you know, get their, you know, I mean, we've all probably been there. I mean, pretend everything's fine and whatever, because you don't, either you can't acknowledge you want help, or for some people it's just really hard. It's really hard to step up and say that you need help and say that you're struggling. And that makes me really sad, because it shouldn't be that way. And that's why I hope that mental health in the future can be more widely accepted, more normalized, and it's definitely a lot more normalized, but people still feel like they can't ask for help, and it's really sad. So basically, I guess moral is, if you're going through something and you need help, you should ask for it, no matter how hard it is. And 10 years down the line, you know, you're not thinking about, you know, your future husband, your future children, you know, your future vacations, your future, you know, your future pets, like all of the things you're going to do and want to do. And it sounds so cliche, but like, you know, you really only have one life, and so it's important to live it out the best you can. And even when I think about my life now, I'm like, wow, I spend so many days doing absolutely nothing, and that is something I want to work on. And next year I want to work on, you know, living every day like, it sounds stupid, but like, could be your last day, you know, you never know. And I know it sounds so cliche, like, I know, but when you really think about it, like, you're just like, that's really true, like, but I think that's all I have for this video. I hope you were able to enjoy it. Sorry if it was kind of all over the place and didn't really seem like it had a point, but I guess we can just call it a mental health ramble, I suppose, or something. But I love you guys so much, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Do